here and just show you how it works, and then maybe next month we might get out into a field and actually trench with it. Right, so first things first, we've said it in other videos, you need a bit of a distance between the trencher and the machine to connect up the couplings, because it's awkward trying to do it if you hook up to the attachment first. So we're going to take these, and again, I've been cleaning them off screen because I just tend to do that as a habit. We'll give them a bit of a wipe, make sure there's no grit on the couplings. Line it up properly. That's one. Again, you can use your knee for a bit of extra leverage. That's the word. Maybe this one, in this scenario, might be better attaching from overhead. Yeah.
Is there an issue with attaching overhead?
It just depends on the angle. Sometimes you'll get a bit, because you see I can't get in there now. So, yeah, get that one on, but it's nearly there. You don't have the leverage from overhead.
Right.
It's amazing how just that 1 inch can essentially stop you from getting it to connect. One.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's on, it's just not getting that final inch. So as you guys can see, with all this huffing and puffing I'm doing, that it can be a little bit tricky, depending on your angle. We've tried overhead, I'll try underneath again, because unfortunately this hydraulic hose is just in the wrong place, as we'd say back home. I don't know, is that an Aussie saying? Wrong place?
I don't think so. Sounds Irish to me.
You get what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah.
You just have to play around with it sometimes. Like, oh hey, there we go. So when you do get it at the right angle, it can go in quite quickly. I just noticed as well that was a little bit loose. We were actually filming coupling tips and tricks earlier, so I obviously didn't tighten it enough. So I'll just tighten that now. But if you are getting difficulty, oh, and there's another tip I forgot to do, is you can disconnect the whole coupling, connect it to the hose, and then put it on that way. But be warned, you would need a lot of rags. That could have been.
So it's very messy.
It's very messy.
Okay.
So if it is a really, really awkward angle, you can get your rag, have it ready, disconnect the whole coupling. Okay, so got a cable tie. Why do we need a cable tie? You'll find out in a second. So we're going to loosen that. I might even get that partially ready because I'll be down to one hand. And I just realized I probably need a knife to cut off the cable tie afterwards. But yeah, so get ready. And then what am I doing? Put that there. Where's my pre-med cable? I could just pop that on there. You can't really leave it for long, but we'll only be a second. So if you're
It's actually come off.
Of course it has. If you're really struggling with couplings, I don't think I have it on high enough. And you want to make a mess, clearly. Like we did warn you this was messy. And I'm only doing this because I don't have a spare pair of hands. There we go. You can just get that coupling and connect it straight on. Like that. And then quickly take that off. The oil has stopped. Line it up. And then put it on like that. So that is your third tip, which we will now be inserting into that video that we prepared earlier. But I knew there was one I was forgetting. But yeah, if you get really stuck and it's not working by just cracking it, you can take it completely off and connect it that way. Or if it's just a really awkward angle and it's too hard and you can't get through to us, you can also FaceTime us or Facebook time us if it's one of those quick fixes that you might not necessarily need us out on site to fix a machine for you. We can talk you through it over FaceTime. .36-inch wrench again. I think the wrenches are, I think they're 36 inches, not 36 centimeters. Now, so we'll pack away all of that. We didn't even really do too much damage with this big massive rag that I brought over because I thought oil would be everywhere.
Yeah, it wasn't as messy as I thought.
Here though. Another thing to note is just to make sure that the hoses are out of what we call the crimping zone, which is this bit here, so that they don't get damaged. And then we will connect up the trencher, so seat belt. So I'll just give you a quick demo of how the trencher works. Again, it's this lever and it's just left and right. And then you can also lock it. So I can lock it. So there you go, that's how easy it is to connect the Auger MT600 to a Toyota skid steer. I do want to make note though that this Toyota skid steer has been fitted with a universal hitch. I do know Toyotas generally have a slightly different hitch, but because we're a hire company, ours is universal. We're just going to disconnect the couplings because we're not using this attachment today or planning on hiring it, but We just said we'd show you with the machine attachment hooked up so you can see how it is a bit trickier to, you know, get in there to try and connect or disconnect. So that's why we always recommend taking it off, and it might even be the case that we'll go into the machine and give ourselves that space, but usually disconnecting is a bit easier than connecting. So again, make sure you're lined up with that little ball. That's one. The ball is there. Yeah, it's that easy to disconnect, but it would be very tricky to connect from this angle, which is why we always recommend using the space between. I have these like mental blanks. So that's why we always recommend using the bit of space between it, and then to disconnect, literally just lift those up, the pins. That one is actually, I've just dropped the pin, the bucket at an awkward angle when I put it down, so I just need to move it slightly. So there you have it. We've disconnected the trencher. It's pretty simple. It's easier than connecting the machine. So that is our Auger MT600. It's fantastic for retake, electrical wire, even water cable. So if you don't want to use a digger and have a bigger trench, this one trenches at 150 meters wide and it goes down to 600, and like we've said before, we've secured a field, so we'll give you an example of that trenching. I do have a small clip of Tom from some old footage, so I'll insert that here. Thanks again for watching, and make sure to smash that subscribe button if you want to watch some more tips and tricks on our different attachments. Thanks for watching, guys.